All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at. Welcome to Speaking of Zane, the 161st edition of Speaking of Zane on this September the 19th, 2021. Good to have everybody in there. Let me see who we've got. Ken, congratulations. I think you and Janet are moved into your new house after several months adrift. So it was good to see that. Hope you're settling in nice. There's my cousin Toby. Hey, Toby, how are you doing? Pass on my regards to your dad. I know he had a little up and down this week. There's Steve Shirley out in the Omaha area, Papillon. Good to have you in there, Steve. And Jeffers down in one of my favorite all-time cities, Tampa, the Tampa area anyway. Good to see you, buddy. Matt Aaron up in Michigan. Hey, Matt, how are you and Katie doing and the girls? Good to have you in there. And there's my buddy Daryl up in the St. Louis area. Hey, Daryl, how you doing, pal? Good to, yeah, I know you had a good week, Daryl. Good, saw some good posts there from you about reconnecting with some old military comrades. That's a great feeling, isn't it, after so many years? And it's like you just, pick it up right where you left off. That's the beauty of it. All right, good, Toby. That's great to hear. All right, well, let's see. I know we'll have some others joining along the way. And as you join, if you want us to know there, just put something in the chat and say hello. There's my Aunt Mary. That's Toby's mom. Hey, Aunt Mary, my dad's sister, my dad's youngest sister. She's the youngest of the bunch. But, good to have you in there, Aunt Mary. All right. Well, I mentioned the 161st edition of Speaking of Zane. We've been going for quite some time now. I think I mentioned last week I was going to try to look back and see when exactly the first live stream was. It was about this time of year, 3 years ago. I need to go back and actually look so we can track that every year. It'd be a good thing to track each year. Speaking of tracking, you see I put the 1,000 thank you sign back there that Lori created for us. We celebrated last week reaching or exceeding the 1,000 thank you mark in our Think a Vet Challenge. Phenomenal job. There's Katie. Hey, Katie, good to have you in there. Great story Katie had about meeting a vet this week. I'll talk more about that when we get there. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Dan was talking about some pictures I posted on the anniversary of my 40th year of entering the Air Force, September the 16th, 1981. I flew from New Orleans to San Antonio to become part of the world's greatest Air Force. And like I said in my post there, a very brief period of time, relatively speaking, just 11 years, 3 months and 15 days. But the most formative years of my life, not a day goes by that I don't draw on what I learned, the experience I gained in those few years. So it was a great time for sure. 40 years, incredible. All right, let's see. So speaking of Air Force and anniversaries and birthdays and all that stuff, happy 74th anniversary, all you airmen. 74 years the United States Air Force has been in existence. We have the big 75 next year, I guess. 74 years since we seceded from the Army and took our bombers with us. But yeah, happy birthday. I totally missed this. I often talk about my friend Ralph Roger and his wife Carrie, who owns Semper Fi Bar and Grill. They celebrate the birthday of every branch throughout the year, and they did so again yesterday for the Air Force, and I totally forgot about it. It was at 6 o'clock yesterday at Semper Fi, and Lori's friend Kathy Cobb, who often joins us here. If you're here, Kathy, hello. Kathy's got a father named Ed, and Ed Burke is his name, and Ed is 91 years old and a proud Air Force veteran. Flew as a gunner on B-29s, post-World War II B-29s as fire control on B-29s. And I've had the privilege of getting to know him a little bit over the last year. And get to hang out with him a little bit and have lunch a couple times. And anyway, he was at the he's living with his daughter Kathy here in the Atlanta area for a bit, and he was they were at Semper Fi for the birthday. And another reason why I'm sorry I forgot about it, but he being the oldest Air Force veteran there in '91, he had the privilege of cutting the cake. And they took a nice little video there. You can go to the Semper Fi Bar and Grill Facebook page, and you can see that. You'll see Mr. Burke there with a B-29 hat on. And anyway, his birthday is coming up this, I think, Thursday. He'll be 92. Lori will correct me if I get that wrong, but I think he turns 92 this Thursday. And I think we're going to meet him at Semper Fi over the weekend. And we've got a photograph, a framed photograph of a B-29 that we had him sign, and we're going to see if Ralph will hang it there in the restaurant with all the other military memorabilia. We'll try to capture that. But yeah, so that happened yesterday. So Mr. Burke we'll try to meet Mr. Burke and Kathy and the family there next Saturday, perhaps. Speaking of Semper Fi, I had lunch there over the during the week, middle of the week. A buddy of mine was a Marine Corps vet, a co-worker, was driving from. Well, he bought his wife a brand new Corvette, and they picked it up. Where they deliver these brand new Corvettes is from the Corvette Museum in Kentucky. I forget which city it's in, Frankfurt, I don't remember. But anyway, so they flew up to Kentucky to pick up her Corvette and to drive it back home to Tampa, Sarasota. So anyway, they had to pass by Atlanta, so we decided to grab lunch together, grabbed a couple of other buddies of ours, co-workers, and we met at Semper Fi since he was a Marine, and had a good lunch there. Ralph was there, so I got to introduce him to Ralph and whatnot. So that was fun. And kind of a last-minute thing there, but even though I'm a kind of a list person, I do like spontaneity every now and then. Hard to believe, but yeah, that was great. That was great to be able to go by there. Let's see what we've got here in the chat. Daryl says he loves the hat. That happens to be the hat of the week, young man. The hat of the week, I'll go ahead and say it, is the Air Force in honor of our 74th birthday, United States, and my 40th anniversary of entering the Air Force. This is the hat of the week. I don't think I've ever wore this one on Speaking of Zane. I've got to hang it up back there, but just don't wear it very often. Let's get back to the chat here. Let's see. Good. Okay, Ken, let's see. I know you got a prayer request here. A friend from his college days, your buddy Ken, okay, went through ROTC, fellow missile launch officer, is going through a terrible time. Oh, man, that's terrible. Ooh. Yeah, I can't imagine the feeling that he's having now, Ken, with that situation with his wife. My goodness. Well, you can count on me to pray about it. That's for sure. And if you do talk to your buddy, tell him that he's got other veterans, airmen thinking and praying for him. All right, let's see. Dan is right. Bowling Green. Okay, that's where the Corvette Museum is. You know what? I learned, Dan, I was wondering about this, but that's where the big sinkhole happened, isn't it? About maybe 10 years or so ago, maybe longer. I don't remember, but they had a big sinkhole there at the Corvette Museum and lost a bunch of the Corvettes down in the sinkhole. All right, so that was good. And let's see. What else do we got going here? It's about all I can think of for this week. It's been raining here. We didn't get a chance to get out this weekend, or I might have run up to see Zane, but it's just been miserable kind of rain all weekend. So instead, I watched a little college football, did a little work. But this coming week, speaking of veterans, we've been doing, we have these, and some of you may have these at your work or may have had where you've worked, these employee resource groups. We have one for veterans at our company, and we just get together every now and then and do some things and participate in different philanthropic things, and we do veterans runs and the different things that you might expect. Anyway, we got a pretty active group at our company. We have well over 500 veterans that are employed at our company of about 8,000. Anyway, we've been ever since the debacle in Afghanistan, we've held some sort of listening tours. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. We basically just give people an opportunity to vent and talk about how they're feeling and reach out for any kind of help they might need to deal with it. We have a lot of young people at the company, of course, who are Afghanistan, Operation Enduring Freedom veterans. And anyway, we've had a couple of these listening sessions already, and we limit them in size to make it a little easier to manage and more conversational at about 20 to 25. Consequently, we've not been able to accommodate everybody that wants to participate. So we're going to do another one this week. And the leader of our organization asked me if I'd be the host, be the moderator. And of course I said yes. He was a 3-star general in the Army, so I know how to follow orders. No, but he asked me if I would do it, and gladly I will facilitate that conversation with the fellow veterans I think that's on Thursday. All right, I already talked about the hat of the week. Let me look back in the chat and see what I'm missing here. Jonathan Peters, one of Zane's battle buddies, says, 40th anniversary makes my 12-year anniversary sound short. Well, thank you, Jonathan. Well, I only did, I did just less than 12 years, but I had a good reason to get out. They paid a bunch of us to get out after the Gulf War, first Gulf War. They paid a bunch of us to get out, which was amazing because I had just gotten a reenlistment bonus not too long before that. But they paid us a lump sum. Well, you could choose a couple of packages, but I took a lump sum payout, and I went to work at a company downtown where ultimately about 30 of us went to work. The skills that we learned on our job in the Air Force applied themselves very well to this company. First Data Corporation is the name of the company. I still interact with them as they're a client of ours, the company I work for. But anyway, that short period of time, it really shaped my whole life, no doubt. Okay, there's my Aunt Carol. Good grief, that's my mother-in-law, Carol. Hey, Carol and Stan. Hope y'all are well out in Oklahoma. I think y'all are in Oklahoma right now. They go back and forth between Oklahoma and San Antonio pretty regular. Yeah, there's Lori. Yeah, Lori's right. She just reminded me. I took a year off, actually. It took, after I got out of the Air Force, I took a year, and man, I did a lot of stuff around the house. Put up a fence and did a lot of work in the house, and got a new roof put on. I did a lot of stuff around the house. That year went pretty quick, and the money started running out, so I had to go to work. But yeah, it was good, a good time for sure. And look at all the people I met in that very short period of time that are on this call that I'm still connected with. That's the testament of it right there. So thank you guys for making an impression on this young airman and still being connected after all these years. What a blessing. Okay, well, let's move along here to this week in military history. We got a couple of items. Obviously, we talked about the Air Force birthday, which was actually on, on the 18th, I guess. But on the 17th, September 17th of 1787, the USS Constitution was put into play. So the Constitution Day was, well, I guess it was Friday. Well, I tell you what, a lot of people don't agree with that Constitution, do they? A lot of people are starting to try to disregard that thing, and that was supposed to be the bedrock of everything to follow, and how we made our laws, how we operate, and people want to discount it after it's worked so well all these years. It's amazing. I hope it continues to. Let me turn this volume down here. I hope we continue to keep that Constitution at the forefront. I'm with you, Dan. I am with you, Dan. Let's see. September 17th is also POW-MIA Day. POW-MIA Day. And then on September the 18th, this is kind of a local piece of history. September 18th, 1863, the first shots were fired at the Battle of Chickamauga. Battle of Chickamauga, just north of us, just a little bit south of the Georgia-Tennessee border, just south of Chattanooga. Let's see. And then, what am I missing? Constitution, Chickamauga, Air Force, POW. All right, that was this week in military history. A lot of cool stuff happened this week in military history. All right, moving on to the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. We did have at least one visit. Daryl, pipe in there and tell me if you had one or two visits this week. I know you had at least one. Daryl, of course, Daryl is our Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery ambassador, to speaking of Zane. His wife Wanda rests there, as do some of his other family members. And Daryl makes a visit there about at least once a week. And Daryl made a special visit there this week when he went to see Wanda. He paid his respects to Lance Corporal Schmitz, Jared Schmitz, who was just interred there last week. He's one of the 13 that was killed in Afghanistan just a few weeks ago. Daryl, thank you for visiting him. I see that he has a headstone, which is usually it takes 6 or 8 weeks, but they must have expedited it, and I'm glad they did. And if anybody deserves that, him and his family certainly do. But one of my future trips to St. Louis, I certainly plan to pay my respects as well. That's the only veteran cemetery visit that I know of this week. I know that in addition to Corporal Schmitz being interred last week, so was Corporal Dagan Page in Omaha at Omaha National Cemetery. I believe he was buried on Friday the 17th there. So on one of my future visits to Omaha, whenever that might be, when I go to see Todd, I will certainly pay my respects to Corporal Page. Okay, so we set at 481 visits that we've made to veteran cemeteries over the last couple of years that we've been doing the challenge. That's 138 different cemeteries. So we got a milestone coming up for that challenge. We're at 481. We're not too far off from 500 visits. That's 500 times somebody from this group has visited a national cemetery and paid your respects. So good job. There's Brenda Lusk. Hello, Brenda, up in Michigan. Ken has another This Week in Military History item for us. 32 years ago today, Ken and Janet departed Florida to their first assignment at Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. Now it's a Space Force base, yeah. Great career, Ken says, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Ken was one of those in charge of our nuclear arsenal. How about that? He had it covered underground, and Steve and Dan and the rest of us had it covered from airborne. So you guys, and we made it through. But well, congratulations, Ken, to you and Janet there. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Think of that challenge. Of course, last week we exceeded the 1,000 thank you mark, and you can see Lori added a very nice 1,000 thank you sign here, which got posted very prominently there. I've had it up there all week, and I did it kind of purposely because I want people on my work calls to ask me about it. It gives me an opportunity to talk about it. So a lot of the folks that I've met with over the week have asked me, what is that 1,000 thank you? So I get the opportunity to tell them about it. But we had some this week. We had a good list this week of thank yous as we have exceeded the 1,000 thank you mark. I know Jim thanked a couple of airmen at Offutt Air Force Base as he passed through the gates there. And Ken, I've got Ken down for an Army vet on one occasion, an Army and an Air Force vet at another location, and then I think today an Air Force vet. So Ken, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Ken this week. And then Daryl, I know you met a vet called George, a Navy vet called George this week. And I enjoyed reading your account of that. My Aunt Paula, who really rallied to get us over the 1,000 mark, she's in Greece on a cruise right now. And she posted a couple days ago that she thanked 4 law enforcement officers while she's over there. Yeah, I think she's over there for a couple weeks. She gets around pretty good, I'll tell you. Let's see. And then I thanked a couple this week. I had, when I was at lunch with my coworkers there at Semper Fi on Wednesday, thanked an Air Force vet. He happened to be he was wearing a hat, Mars operator hat. Anybody know what Mars is? Mars operator? Anyway, I saw the Mars operator hat and stopped to talk to him, and we chatted. Of course, he's also a ham operator, and we had a good little chat there. And I thanked a Marine Corps vet who I'm interviewing actually to come work for me. And I'll talk to him again this week. And let's see, Katie had a great story. Katie, you have got to get in I know you've got 2 little girls, but they are creating a lot of content for you. That's the way to look at it. I know you don't have a lot of time, but you need to get in the short story or the blog or the blogging game, because you have a way of telling stories. And she told a good one this afternoon about her encounter with a Marine Corps veteran. So if you want to read that, go to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group and you can see what Katie has to say about that. So let's see, if I add all those up, we had 14 thank yous this week. How about that? Here we are. We just reached this 1,000 milestone. You would think we'd slow down, but we're not, because veterans exist in our lives as we go about our daily routine. So it'd be silly not to say thanks, right? 14 thanks this week. And we are up already to the 1,050. 1,050. Look how quickly we got to 50. Beyond the 1,000 mark. Just amazing what you guys continue to do. So 1,050 thank yous. Amazing. Let's see. What we got here? Organizations. Let's see. We always talk about organizations that we're affiliated with, involved with, hear about, know about, see about, read about, contribute to, or whatever. We share things about that. And I know Matt has exceeded his fundraising goal for the Mission 22 event that he's doing. So all of you that have contributed, I know Matt wants to wish you a thanks there. And I know he's got just over half. He's done half of the running that he's pledged to do. I think that's right, Matt, somewhere in that neighborhood. I finally nailed down a time for our My Warriors Place workday activity down near Tampa. This is the retreat that Kelly Kowal, Gold Star mom Kelly Kowal, founded about 10, 11 years ago now. And finally settled on a day. A bunch of coworkers of mine that I work with are, we're going to go spend the day out there, half a day anyway, and do whatever they need us to do. We went out there last year and put the roof on a gazebo, and we'll do something this year. I've already got 12 or 13 signed up. We'll probably have 20, 25 people, maybe more. I may have to limit it. I don't know. We'll see. We've got about a month before we do it, but I got a lot of people interested down there. Lori and I are going to go down there, I think, on the work day is on the Friday the 22nd of October. I think we're going to go down on the Tuesday. So drive down on Tuesday and stay till the next Tuesday. Drive home the next Tuesday. So we're going to be down there for a full week, staying actually on the property there at My Warriors Place. So maybe we'll do Speaking of Zane from there. All right, let's see. Daryl said, I had not heard reference to Mars in many years. Yeah, Mars still exists, Daryl. There's a very robust Mars network. They have changed, the acronym is the same, but they've changed the name. You can go Google it and see, but used to be Military Affiliated Radio System, I think, or something like that. I think they've slightly altered the acronym, but it's still Mars. But let's see. Oh, Katie's saying, okay, Katie's talking about Matt. Okay, Matt hurt his hip. Okay. Okay. He's good to go and gearing up for a strong finish. Good. I know I saw something posted about he was over the halfway mark, so that's great. Thanks for that update, Katie. And good job there, Matthew. All right, let's see. So My Warriors Place, that'll be a fun trip. Also just got word that the Veterans Day 5K that we participated in last year, Lori and I ran it, Lori and I walked it at the cemetery, actually, if I remember right. Last November, it was raining. But there, it's a Veterans Day 5K that my company is a sponsor of in St. Louis. And the physical run is in St. Louis, downtown St. Louis. But this year, they're going to have a virtual event again. So I'll post all the details about that on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. If anybody is into that kind of thing and want to participate with us, you'll have a virtual option to do that on November the 6th. November the 6th. It's a Saturday. Veterans Day 5K, November the 6th. So I'll put all the info on there. And I've got a group. I need to see if I got a Speaking of Zane group or team already built. I'll see if it carried over to this year. If the team's already there, you can join that team. If that team doesn't still exist, I'll create a new one called Speaking of Zane, so you can join that one. Yes, you did, Katie. You introduced us to Aaron Bartle up there for the Running to Honor, and we've that kind of spawned our interest in that, and so thank you for that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. That's about it. We're getting close to the time for the Wreaths Across America. Wreaths Across America, where you'll have the opportunity to place a wreath, a Christmas wreath, at the headstone of a veteran in a veteran cemetery. And we'll have a team for that too. Had a team for that last year. So stay tuned for that. I think I'm right when I say it's December 18th this year, maybe. Anyway, it'll be somewhere in there, like the Saturday before Christmas, I think. And then they stay until about a month. But I'll let you guys know about that as we get closer as well. We always enjoy that. All right. Well, let's see. We had a Navy jet trainer crash today in Fort Worth. I just saw about it about an hour ago. It looks like that both pilots were able to eject and are injured in some way, and nobody on the ground was killed. That's the last report I saw, but landed in a residential neighborhood. But I think there are no fatalities, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, well, let's see. I didn't look at Zane's Facebook post this week. Sometimes I get, sometimes I don't want to do it, sometimes I do. But last week, if you remember, I talked about, I found the post, or I found where Zane and Abby first met in September of 2000. Wow, 21 years ago. That's crazy. They were in elementary school or middle school or something. But anyway, amazing. All right. Well, let's see. I think that's all I've got for this week, folks. I hope everybody has I know there was something else I was going to point out here. Let me see. No, I think I got it all. Yeah, I might be thinking about my agenda for my team meeting tomorrow. That might be. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us for Speaking of Zane, September 19th, 2021, the 161st edition of Speaking of Zane. Tell you what, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys being with us, joining us along the way, participating in events and activities with us, supporting mutual causes, and saying their names and making sure they're not forgotten. And that's a good thing in my book. Appreciate every one of you. Have a great week. Make it count. We'll see you again next Sunday night for the 162nd edition of Speaking of Zane.